Nice, guys, nice. Good evening, everyone. Sincere thank you to my family and friends who have shown up for me tonight. And thank you very much to the Hall of Fame for this honor of being inducted. This process has been a fun look back on my history as a competitive athlete. And any opportunity for me to reflect is a privilege when you've been as blessed with immense opportunity like I have. I've been blessed with the great people around me. I was gifted with skill and size. Let's not forget that. The height I am right now, I think my dad just told me I was probably peaked at what, 4th grade? This is what you were looking at. So I was a very big, tall kid. Kind of big and strong, as my dad would say. Quoted in the paper, just in case you go and check. If you walked past my 2nd grade classroom, you'd see standard sized desks across the board, and then there was just this one desk that they had to haul in from the 5th grade classroom that was tall enough for my legs to fit under. While I played many sports as a kid, it was no secret that basketball was it for me. Growing up in the 90s, during the rise of UConn women's basketball, my sister and I got to go to so many games because our grandparents had season tickets. And playing college basketball was always the goal for me. Playing basketball in Connecticut, and if you're any good, you know, everyone says to you, oh, are you going to go to UConn? You're going to play at UConn, right? And anyone who doesn't have grounding coaches or parents would probably think that that was a possibility, but not me. I had people around me at all times that were keeping me grounded and in reality. Someone who never filled my ideas with that weren't realistic for me was my first coach, Pete, my dad. My dad coached me through Boys and Girls Club travel basketball from 4th grade to 8th grade, and he also kept score for pretty much every single one of my AAU basketball games, which was a lot. He knew I could go somewhere with my skill, and he truly did right by me as a player. He learned the AAU landscape, and he, basically took everything in so he could make sure that we got to the next level because he knew that's what I wanted. Never inflated my ego, and he always kept it very real with me. Sometimes he kept it a little too real. There was one game at North End Rec in Waterbury I'll never forget. It was the first time we were really just getting our butts handed to us. I think I saw my shot get swatted out of the gym for the first time, and I was just, we were not doing well. During a timeout, he's addressing the team, and he very calmly says, sometimes the team is just better. And I looked at him like I was going to kill him. I was so mad. I was like, I didn't want to hear that. Your wisdom is great, Dad, but let's keep it moving. I want to thank you for that and everything you've done for me. The memories we've accumulated over the years traveling for sports were ones that I'll never forget. It was really an advantage to have parents who were so grounded in reality and simply enjoyed the ride that their kid was on. When I got to college, I realized just how lucky I was to have the mom and the dad that I have. My parents would regularly sit down with their book and coordinate just how they were going to make it to all of my games. Both having full-time jobs and, other adult responsibilities, I really appreciated that from both of you. My mom, Donna, started running her own business the same year I left for college. And for those of you that know her or don't know her, she's an absolute force and a beast. My mom has an insane work ethic that's unlike anything I've really ever seen, and I'm just so used to it at this point. She has an internal engine that's just always running. She always has energy to get things done. And while she by no means is a big sports fan, she is a huge fan of mine. In fact, she's most happy that I get up and speak today. She could care less about all the stuff that was on the slide. And my dad always takes credit for my athletic prowess, which, some can't argue with. However, without my mom's example of what proper work ethic looks like, that skill could only go so far. So thank you. I also had the advantage of being the second born with an older sister who was a ruthless competitor, but she was a damn good sport about her sister being taller than her and better than her most of the time. I do still remember the days of her beating me one-on-one in the driveway, but there came that day where the tide turned and I finally beat her, and then we just never looked back. She always supported me, never did anything to harm me in any way. She still takes care of me to this day. I'm forever thankful for that, and also thankful that she's not too far away from me. In fact, I'm thankful that my mom, my dad, and my sister are all right here in Bristol. My husband and I were lucky enough to find a house here back in Bristol in 2020. And living here was always something I wanted, but my husband was a little hesitant. Back when we first met, the fact that I was a college basketball player was one of the things that actually interested him the most. Really made my Match.com profile pop, you know? He's a huge sports fan, so naturally he thought it would be fun for us to play a game of one-on-one for one of our earlier dates. I said, that's so cute. But in my head, I was like, this is a really bad idea, but here we go. After I absolutely scraped the floor with him, I was immediately impressed by how well he handled it, especially because he's a diehard Duke fan, and we know how irrational those Duke fans can be. One of our favorite pastimes now is arguing during all college basketball games on whether or not the officials can dictate the outcome of a game. And I knew I had sealed the deal on Bristol when he made this comment to me a few weeks ago. He says, you know what would be awesome? If Layla grows up and crushes all of your records and gets inducted into the Hall of Fame too. So, hopefully I'll be back up here in 33 years to witness that. Thank you all for listening. It's an honor to be part of this community, and I hope you all have a good night.